So we haven't done having and group by, correct? Okay. Let me select the database, which is bootcamp may expanded tables. Now it is asking ki how many orders are placed for each category. Okay, just a second. Yeah. So few steps you need to keep in mind while solving any question. The first thing that you need to do is you need to always break down that question. Okay. So first thing you can check always here कि like what should be your output. Output में आपको क्या क्या चाहिए? You should have three columns in the output. What are three columns you should have? You should have category, then count of those categories, and then total sales. Total. So these three columns you will have, right? Okay. In the output. So when you see this, so what kind of data is it? Summarized data. Because you for each category, if you're getting a total count and total sales, that means ki in that column, particular column, category is going to be unique. ठीक है. Okay. So first, so whatever I want in the output, I will write it where? Whatever I want to display in the output, I will mention that thing where in the select statement. कहाँ पे लिखूंगा मैं? स्टार में. सेलेक्ट स्टेटमेंट में लिखूंगा ना. Whatever I want to display in the output, क्या लिखा है मैंने यहाँ पे? Whatever you want to display in the output will be in the select statement. ये सिर्फ डिस्प्ले करने के लिए है. Select statement is just to display. So I will say select. Okay, let me write the basic query first. Select star from GBL order as A. Now I can say A dot category, and I can say count of how many orders are placed. So I will take count of star as total underscore orders, right? And the third column will be what? Sum of sales. They wrote sales as total underscore sales. इतना clear है? ठीक है. Now if I execute this, I'm getting an error. It is saying कि category is invalid in the select list because it is not contained in either an aggregate function or in the group by clause. क्या कह रहा है? जो category column है या तो aggregate function के अंदर होना चाहिए या वो group by clause में होना चाहिए. ठीक है? I'll tell you the reason for that. So why is it returning error is see. Yeah, but suppose I have a category column and the categories be let's say A, B, C, D. ठीक है? This is the column I'm having, and let's say sales. Let's say 10, 5, 8, 12, 23, 11. These are the sales I'm having. So this is my data set. This is my raw data. Okay? Now, if I just write the select statement, whatever I wrote over here, this one, where is it? This one. If I just write this one, so iska output kaisa hoga? What it is saying is कि you have this category column. So I'm displaying this category column. Along with this, what I'm displaying is total orders. ठीक है? And what? Total sales. ठीक है? Total orders का क्या होगा? Let's say count of this. and total sales will be how much? Sum of. Okay. Now you tell me, is this a valid table? No, right? That is why you're getting an error. Is this a valid table? No, that is why you're getting an error. Now, what I do, like this is my query. If I write group by category, okay? When I say group by category, now just understand when I say over here, what type of column is it? Total orders is what type of column? Aggregated? Sum of sales or total sales is what type of column? Category is a what type of column? Non-aggregated, right? So when you have an aggregated column and non-aggregated column in the select statements, both non-aggregated and aggregated in the select statement, then the non-aggregated column will go into the group by. That is the rule. Okay. So when I take this into the group by, this is non-aggregated category. What it will do is copy. Let's say this is I want to display in the output. Second thing it will do is it will remove the duplicates. Okay. So data, remove duplicates, done. Right. Then I want total orders. So it will be which function? Countif, array function. So I'll say countif. This is my range, which I'll freeze it. This is my criteria. Done. So what will happen now is ki whatever my total count was, that will be bifurcated as per the category at category level. And similarly, my total sales will also be bifurcated at the category level. Clear how group by works? What group by is doing? It is giving you the unique categories. अगर यहाँ पे group by category, if we have more than one variable in the group by, तो combination लेगा, unique combination. ठीक है? So what group by is doing? It is giving me what? Unique categories and then bifurcating the aggregated value as per the categories. Clear है ये? ठीक है. So now what is the rule? If there is an aggregated column and a non-aggregated column in the select statement, तो नॉन एग्रीगेटेड विल गो इनटू ग्रुप बाय सो दैट जो एग्रीगेशन है वो उस नॉन एग्रीगेटेड के कैटेगरीज के बेसिस पे बाइफरकेट हो जाए. सो व्हाट आई विल डू ओवर हियर, आई विल से ग्रुप बाय a dot category. So when I do this, I have a proper table now. See, clear? The group by का let me just tell you. ठीक है? So let's say if I say select star from TBL order as a. ठीक? If I say a dot category and if I say group by, ठीक है? A dot category. What do you think? What will I get? सिर्फ इसको एग्जीक्यूट करता हूँ. It is showing me the entire column. If I executed it with group by, what will happen? Unique categories, right? So in this scenario, this is similar as distinct. Okay, ठीक है. If I say a dot category की जगह, if I take a dot product also, let's say now, and group by a dot. अगर कैटेगरी से किया है तो प्रोडक्ट से भी करना होगा फिर ग्रुप बाय. ठीक है? बिकॉज इफ यू आर डिस्प्लेइंग इट, यू हैव टू डू इट प्रोडक्ट. इट विल गिव मी व्हाट? यूनिक कॉम्बिनेशन सी. ठीक है? Now, if I want to see the total sales for this combination, I will do what? I will say, so let it be this as it is. Now, if I want the unique combination of this sales wala, so what I will do, I will simply say sum of a dot sales as total underscore sales. I'm getting the total sales for each of the unique combination. ठीक है? Now, if one more variation I'm telling you, ठीक है? See, if I remove a dot product from here, now what will I get in the output? Huh? Unique categories. Will I get unique categories? So what will I get? I'll get the same output, just that the product column won't be displayed in the output, but I am grouping by with the category and the product. So जो grouping हो रही है वो unique combination देगी output में. मतलब it is bifurcating the sum of sales based on this unique combination. But output में सिर्फ category show हो रही है. क्योंकि वो यूनिक कॉम्बिनेशन के बेसिस पे ग्रुप बाय हो रहा है तो कैटेगरी यहाँ पे रिपीट हो रही है तो आउटपुट में भी रिपीट होगी बिकॉज आई एम जस्ट नॉट डिस्प्लेइंग द प्रोडक्ट कॉलम. इट इज देयर इन द कैलकुलेशन. Yeah, I'll tell you 1 second. See, same output, same sales values, but जो group सिर्फ देखो यहाँ पे category भी repeat हो रही है. If I just remove the category also, so it will give me the this count this sales only, but you want to know कि कौन सी category का है या कौन सी unique combination का है, right? Just this is also one way to do it. How sum of sales is? Yeah, okay. So this is like if I tell you an overview. So like how I did calculated the total orders in Excel array functions. तो क्या कर रहा है जब मैं ग्रुप बाय कर रहा हूँ कैटेगरी कॉलम से पहले तो टोटल काउंट आ रहा है फिर व्हेन आई एम डूइंग ग्रुप बाय इट इज बाइफरकेटिंग माय टोटल ऑर्डर्स बेस्ड ऑन द क्राइटेरिया व्हाट इज माय क्राइटेरिया ईच कैटेगरी ऑफ द कैटेगरी कॉलम बेस्ड ऑन दैट ठीक है हाँ तो उस हिसाब से फिर दे रहा है वो तो व्हेन आई से यहाँ पे काउंट इफ है ना तो उसकी जगह फिर काउंट इफ्स हो जाएगा मल्टीपल कंडीशंस यूनिक कॉम्बिनेशन ठीक है देन या गाइस क्लियर विद द ग्रुप बाय एवरीवन तो ग्रुप बाय कब यूज होगा व्हेनेवर यू नीड टू समराइज यू विल बी यूजिंग ग्रुप बाय ठीक है इज एवरीवन क्लियर विद दिस ग्रुप बाय online guys clear with the group by that's very important whenever you need to summarize you will be using group by online guys let me know clear or not with the group by part first yeah so guys please respond whether you have understood it or not okay now next question what is the monthly sales amount so let me write the basic query and then you can guys can tell me so always start from the basic query he will order as a now okay what is the monthly sales amount tell me how can I do this question this is my data set ठीक है let's say monthly sales amount what is the first thing you need to understand what I need in the output में क्या आना चाहिए let's say if I want year and months ठीक है so let's say year months and what and total sales ठीक है so how will I get the month and year so let's say if I say year of a dot order date as year underscore then second column will be what month of a dot order date as month underscore and sum of a dot sales as sales underscore okay sorry as total sales now what I have decided what I want in the output now I need to make this calculation right okay what kind of column is this aggregate what kind of column is this one so what will happen group by what I have to use formula over here why I'm using formula and not the alias name in the group by like order of execution क्या है select statement is executed after group by so that means that alias name is defined after having no that is why so alias name I can only use in the order by whatever alias name I have given in the select statement that can only be used in the order by okay done so this is the monthly sales amount यहाँ पे 11 आ रहा है फिर 12 आ रहा है ठीक है so what I can do is I can say order by now I can say year underscore month underscore see because this is executed after the select statement so sorting is also done in levels we have seen in Excel here also the same thing both in ascending order I'm taking so no need to mention now it's correct right ठीक question 18 are there any customers duplicate reference number like I want to know which are the customers who are having a duplicate reference number or whose record is repeating select star from CBL order as a okay now just tell me what approach I can follow over here Let me just execute, see the data, and tell me that. COUNTIF, we do not have COUNTIF. Now tell me as per the SQL. What? Just tell me the approach. Don't tell me with the functions. What I need to do? What will be the first step towards the output? In the output, what will have? What will have in the output? Either the reference number, or you can even show the count of that reference number. Tell me the approach.
Select reference number.
हाँ, फिर
Take it from table order and उसके बाद group by the reference number and having the clause कि जो भी duplicates वाले रहेंगे that's all.
So see, understand. Keep
So group by reference number you start it with descending order and let you stop.
there's no need of sorting over here as such. Sorting is not required, but let's understand. Okay, I want customers who have duplicate reference numbers. Okay, so what logic I can apply? I can have the reference number on one of the column unique, so that means, and I can have count how many times that reference number is repeating. Right now, what kind of data is it? The output is what kind of data? Raw data or summarized data? Raw data.
It's a simple select statement.
No, I have done the summarization. Summarized data. So if you want to perform filtering on the summarized data, which clause you will use? Having. That is that. अगर आप group by use कर रहे हो उसके बाद आपको filtering करनी है तो आप कौन सा use करोगे? Having. Now the point is आप यहाँ पे where clause करके filtering नहीं कर सकते. Why? Because there is no. How would you know कि कौन सा duplicate reference number है कौन सा नहीं है? Right? वो count आने के बाद पता चलेगा. And count कब आएगा? Group by use करने से. So you can do filtering only after group by. So having clause. So I will say what I need in the output. I need reference number. So I will say a dot reference number. Customers पूछा है ना, तो let me take customer name and reference number is count of a dot reference number as CNT. ठीक है? Now, guys, can you tell me कि when should I take the count of star? When should I take the count of a column? And when should I take the count of a distinct column? Distinct, I mean star or distinct column. Why I'm not taking count of star over here and I'm taking a count of a column which is specifically reference number? So I'll get the same count, but I will get the same count eventually. So why I'm not taking count of star and I'm taking a count of a particular column? What do you think the reason is? इस केस में आउटपुट आपका सही आ जाएगा, but in some cases you won't. So what are those cases? Blanks, correct. See, what count function does? It will not count the entire row. It won't count the row only if the entire row is blank. If there's only one particular cell is blank in that row, so it will count it. Okay? But if I take the count, I want duplicate reference number. So I should particularly take the reference number count because it may be a scenario that particular cell in that column is blank. So the count of star won't be same as count of that column. Clear everyone? यहाँ पे देखो अगर entire row blank नहीं है, even if any one of the cell is having a value, count of star will count as 1. But if this is blank, if I take a count of any particular column, let's say reference number, and if there's a particular cell blank in that column, it won't be counted. So that is the difference. So when I was told over here, I need to take the count of orders. Where is the count of orders? Yeah, how many orders, right? So particularly, I would take the count of star over here, not a count of a column, because the entire row is representing the order details. Clear? Okay. So I will say group by a dot customer name. It will give me the summarized data, right? See, there are customers having two values. Now I want to know which customers are having that. So having I cannot use the alias name in having because it is executed before the select. So I have to use the function only, count. Having count greater than equals to 2, or you can say greater than 1. So these are the two customers whose reference number is, so yeah, is basically repeating. Clear? Any doubt in question 18? Anyone?
How to showcase the reference number of each particular also. So we have to put that into the group.
Group by, yeah. Sparsh, what is the doubt over here? Okay. Anyone having any query regarding this? और count function कहाँ पे star लेना है, कहाँ पे column लेना है? Is it clear? ठीक है. So क्या चाहिए तो? रोल नंबर, रेफरेंस नंबर. तो रेफरेंस नंबर यहाँ पे आ जाएगा ना, अगर आपको डिस्प्ले करना है तो. फिर आपको डिस्प्ले करना है तो देन आप तो देन कीप इट इनटू द ग्रुप बाय आल्सो, क्योंकि यहाँ पे एग्रीगेटेड कॉलम है ना. ठीक है. एंड नाउ लेट मी टेल यू व्हेन यू नीड टू ग्रुप बाय. हाँ, ब्लैंक, नल. अब यहाँ पे एक और चीज कि व्हेन से सेलेक्ट सिनेरियोस, सेलेक्ट के भी ना कुछ सिनेरियोस हो सकते हैं यहाँ पे. फॉर एग्जांपल यू हैव ऑल द कॉलम्स इन द सेलेक्ट व्हिच आर नॉन एग्रीगेटेड. ठीक है. तो इन दैट केस यू डोंट नीड टू ग्रुप बाय, यू कैन सिंपली यूज डिस्टिंक्ट, और यू कैन इवन ग्रुप बाय आल्सो, बट यू कैन यूज डिस्टिंक्ट. ठीक है, पहला सिनेरियो. दूसरा सिनेरियो, यू हैव ऑल द एग्रीगेट फंक्शंस, मतलब ऑल द कॉलम्स आर एग्रीगेट कॉलम्स, you don't have to group by then also. Third scenario, when you have both aggregated and non-aggregated columns, then you need to put non-aggregated columns into the group by. ठीक है. Now, what is the difference between distinct and group by? See, group by also gives you unique values. Distinct also gives you unique values. So let's attempt this question also. Let's attempt this question only. This question only using distinct, right? So I'll say distinct or select star from TBL order as A. ठीक है. So I'll say distinct A dot customer name, and so now if I do that, it will return me what? Distinct customer name, and I can say count of A dot reference number as CNT. Right? So that means I don't need to group by now because I have unique customer names and the aggregated value. Okay. But is it a correct query to go with? हाँ, देखो अगर मैं ये query यूज करता हूँ तो somewhere में output looks like what? Somewhere my output looks like this. Only the difference is कि category is distinct. It's not a proper table because distinct से distinct records or distinct value return करेगा. Right? When I want to bifurcate non-aggregated columns, so I have to use group by. Distinct उस case में काम नहीं करेगा. ठीक है. So if I execute this, see, is invalid in the select list because it is not contained in either an aggregate function or in the group by. But if I put it into the group by A dot customer name, then it will work. ठीक है. But ये क्या कर रहा है इस केस में? पहले डुप्लीकेट्स नहीं हटा रहा, पहले ग्रुप बाय हो रहा है, उसके बाद वो डुप्लीकेट्स रिमूव कर रहा है. लेकिन डुप्लीकेट्स तो एग्जिस्ट करेंगे नहीं जब ग्रुप बाय कर दिया तो. सो नॉट अ करेक्ट वे टू गो विद. ठीक है. तो अंडरस्टूड द डिफरेंस. जब आपको एग्रीगेटेड वैल्यू बाइफरकेट करनी है फॉर ईच कैटेगरी, यू वांट टू गो विद डिस्टिंक्ट इन दैट केस. Now tell me, how can I do this without using distinct? Which one? Distinct. So when you want to bifurcate the aggregated value based on the categories, you don't have to use distinct for that because distinct does not bifurcate it. Group by does. Okay. Yeah, guys, how can I do this? Tell me. Tell me the query. Without using distinct, how can I get the unique records from the order table? Right now, only I have told you. Group by. Select star from TBL order as A. Okay. Now, since there are a lot of columns to group by with, okay, so what will I do is, let's say I will say group by, and I will click on the first row. and right click and I will say copy with headers. Okay? And I'll paste it. I will remove the value part, and these are the columns with which I'm grouping by. Oh, done. See, same output, 20 rows. There were 22 rows. Now, you see, it depends in which cases you will be using the continuous variables for grouping by. 95% of the scenarios you will be only grouping with the categorical columns. Okay? But in such scenarios, it depends on scenario to scenario when you will be using the continuous columns also into the group by. Because if you have set star and if you have taken एक भी variable in the group by, you have to take all the variables which are in the select statement, which are mentioned in the select statement. So star means all the columns. So all the columns needs to be into the group by. ठीक है? Clear? Everyone clear with this part? क्या मतलब? क्योंकि मैंने यहाँ पे स्टार लिखा है ना. अगर यहाँ पे एक मैं सिर्फ कोई एक कॉलम मेंशन करता हूँ तो कोई भी वही कॉलम आएगा, फिर वो यूनिक वैल्यूज आ जाएंगे उसी की. अब ये क्या कर रहा है? इट इज गिविंग विद अ यूनिक कॉम्बिनेशन, तो दैट मींस इट्स सिंपली एज यूनिक रो. एरर आया. If I remove this, because क्या हो रहा है, जो ये यूनिक कॉम्बिनेशन से जो नंबर ऑफ रोज आ रही है, दैट इज नॉट इक्वल्स टू द नंबर ऑफ वैल्यूज दैट प्रॉफिट कॉलम इज हैविंग. ठीक है?
How can you perform the unique number then at the end of it? Because it's a good practice.
How you can get what? These.
Only 20 rows, all the unique numbers. Why not selecting all the rows? 20 rows.
I'm selecting the entire data only, na star.
I'll select all the unique rows.
Okay. What group I is doing? What group I does? It removes the duplicates based on the unique combination. So if I am grouping by all the columns, so that means what? It is grouping by all the values in a particular row. Now, if there is any other row, let's say, which is exact replica of this row, it will remove that. So that's how it is working. Okay. Online guys, any queries regarding this orders case study? No? Okay. Moving on. Now let's understand. What are the types of data combining? How can I combine the data in SQL? Guys, what are the methods or concepts? What are the two ways? I'm telling you the numbers also, right? Using which I can combine the data in SQL. Excel में कैसे combine करते थे? Lookup functions. SQL में joins. And second one, what is the second concept? Append. Okay. Now, when you will perform joins or append depends on the certain conditions. Okay, let's talk about joins. So joins आपका perform करोगे? When will you perform joins? Okay. So let's understand. ठीक है? Let's say I have a employee table and I have a sales table. I want to understand which employee has done how much sales. ठीक है? बट जो सेल्स का डेटा है वो सेल अमाउंट कॉलम जैसे है वो सेल्स टेबल में है, बट एम्प्लॉय आईडी है वो आई वांट लेट्स से एम्प्लॉय नेम, ठीक है, अलोंग विद दैट। तो एम्प्लॉय नेम कहाँ पे है? एम्प्लॉय टेबल में है। यहाँ पे सिर्फ एम्प्लॉय आईडी होगा जिसके बेसिस पे ज्वाइन करूंगा मैं, ठीक है। आई वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड, और यहाँ पे सारे एम्प्लॉयज नहीं होंगे। लेट्स से किसी की कोई सेल्स ही नहीं हुई तो इसका उसकी वैल्यू तो होगी नहीं सेल्स टेबल में, आईडी नहीं होगी। सो लेट्स एम्प्लॉय, इफ आई वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हिच एम्प्लॉय हैज हाउ मच सेल्स, तो कैसे पता करेंगे? आई नीड टू हैव दिस कॉलम एंड दिस, आई नीड टू हैव दिस टेबल एंड दिस टेबल टुगेदर, राइट। और वैल्यू मैप कैसे होगी यहाँ पे? अगर यहाँ पे 101 एम्प्लॉय आईडी है तो, एंड यहाँ पे लेट्स जो यहाँ पे बीच में के पे रिकॉर्ड है 101 का, तो ये रिकॉर्ड इस एम्प्लॉय आईडी के साथ मैप होना चाहिए, करेक्ट। तो कैसे होगा? सिंपली कॉपी पेस्ट करने से तो होगा नहीं, दैट विल बी इनकरेक्ट, बिकॉज यहाँ पे नंबर ऑफ रोज लेट्स से 10 है, यहाँ पे 100 है। वन एम्प्लॉय कैन डू मल्टीपल सेल्स, क्या करेंगे? और ये क्या दोनों सेम एंटिटी है? दीज आर डिफरेंट एंटिटीज और डिफरेंट टेबल्स, ठीक है। तो क्या करेंगे हम इनको ज्वाइन करेंगे टू गेट द बेसिकली टू गेट द एंटायर डेटा इन अ सिंगल टेबल आफ्टर मर्जिंग, ठीक है। सो अगेन द डेफिनेशन इज व्हेन you have two different entities, or what should I say यहाँ पे, or I should say when the entities are from different entity sets, different entity set, right? Then okay, then we'll perform join, ठीक है। When the two entities are from different entity set, then we will perform join, ठीक है। यहाँ पे the number of columns in these two entities may or may not be same, clear? Number of columns may or may not be same. For example, employee table can have 5 columns, sales table can have 15 columns. Okay. Append when the two entities are from same entity set. Then will append number of columns and their data type must be same. ठीक है। अगर फर्स्ट टेबल में 5 कॉलम है तो सेकंड टेबल में भी 5 कॉलम होने चाहिए, और जो डेटा टाइप है कॉलम्स का, वो दोनों टेबल में हर एक कॉलम का जो डेटा टाइप है वो सेम होना चाहिए। फॉर एग्जाम्पल एम्प्लॉय टेबल, सो लेट्स से एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, वो मल्टीपल कंट्रीज में ऑपरेट कर रही है, राइट। सो लेट्स से एक एम्प्लॉय टेबल उसके पास है इंडिया का, इंडियाज एम्प्लॉय टेबल, अदर एम्प्लॉय टेबल इज ऑफ यूएस, देन थर्ड एम्प्लॉय टेबल हो गया कनाडा का एम्प्लॉय टेबल, राइट। तो यहाँ पे एंटिटी सेट, एंटिटी कौन सी है यहाँ पे, एंटिटी सेट क्या है यहाँ पे, एम्प्लॉय, एम्प्लॉय इज द एंटिटी सेट विच, so these tables are from the same entity which is employee, करेक्ट। तो इनको हम मर्ज नहीं करेंगे, अपेंड करेंगे। तो ये जो टेबल है यूएस वाली, इसके नीचे आ जाएगी, इसके नीचे कनाडा वाली आ जाएगी। सो दिस इज बेसिकली व्हाट माय टेबल having all the employee details of that particular organization, clear? So number of columns has to be same and their data type must be same, clear or not? When to perform join and when to perform append.
अपेंड सर एक बार फिर से आप बता दीजिए।
Yeah, I am saying कि employee table है, स्टूडेंट टेबल है, दूसरा एग्जांपल ले लेते हैं, स्टूडेंट टेबल है, ठीक है, इन अ कॉलेज लेट्स से, ठीक है। इफ द कॉलेज वांट्स टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट आर द टोटल नंबर ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स, राइट, सो व्हाट इट विल डू, सो लेट्स से एक डिपार्टमेंट वाइज एक मैथ्स डिपार्टमेंट के स्टूडेंट टेबल है m_s, एक इंग्लिश डिपार्टमेंट की स्टूडेंट्स टेबल है, एक स्टूडेंट टेबल हो गई लेट्स से इकोनॉमिक्स डिपार्टमेंट की, लाइक दिस वी हैव मल्टीपल स्टूडेंट टेबल्स फॉर ईच डिपार्टमेंट। सो व्हाट विल आई परफॉर्म बिटवीन दीज, अपेंड और जॉइन? जॉइंस, append.
डिपार्टमेंट में डिपार्टमेंट students
Similar number of students. Who told you similar number of students? I said number of columns must be same.
Those different.
So was obviously I said number of columns must be same. Employee ID, student ID, student name, student department, like that. So if this table is having 5 columns, all of the tables will have 5 columns, and their data type must be same. No, not necessary. So here, let's say it is the name of the ID is maths underscore student ID. Okay? Here the name of the ID can be English underscore student ID. So name may differ of the columns, but the columns should have the same kind of values and same data type. And number of columns will be same. So what will I perform between these? Append, I will, if I want to know the number of students. So this is basically what? Count of student ID. So I have to first append, then I will be able to take the count. Clear? Whoever asked this one, Balmeet?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay. Now, types of joins. Yeah. No. It's not necessary. It will take the column name of the first table. Whichever is the first table, it will take the column name of that. कौन से column append is basically the entire table is appended below the other table. Yeah, it will be same only. Sequence has to be same. Yes. So that's ultimately the same structure they follows usually. Number of columns must be same. Sorry, must be same and the data type must be same. Correct. हाँ. So अगर let's say student name है, तो second column हर table में student name ही होगा. हाँ, heading अलग हो. तो what it will do कि ये वाला जो अब जब आप append कर दोगे तो column names नहीं आएंगे बाकी tables के. It will take the column name of the first table. नहीं, joins आप joins ही तब perform करोगे जब वो tables ही अलग है दोनों. और उसके केस में number of columns and data type may or may not be same. ठीक है? Types of joins. Tell me. Inner join. What else? Left. Right. Cross. What else? Huh? Natural. What else? What else? What else, guys? Self join, yes. Then we have self join. Seventh, what else? Outer, which outer? Okay. The another name for that is full join. Okay. ठीक है. Let me get the data first. So now to append, for appending, we use sets in SQL. Okay. We'll see what sets are. But currently, I have the employee table of US and employee table. See, यहाँ पे नाम same नहीं है. Employee ID and ID. Okay. But number of columns are same. Number of records are also not same. So what will I perform between these two tables? Append. Ideally, same data type, same number of columns. It's not. It doesn't matter because these are appended vertically. Joins is done horizontally. Number of columns increases in joins. In append, so in joins, number of columns and number of rows both increases. But in append, only number of rows increases. Okay? So what will I do? I will prepare my final employee table. So let's say this is my employee of US. So let me just append this first. Okay. And done. So I'm just telling you how this append is done in the backend. Okay? Now I'll just take the rows not the column names. So this is my employee table, which has all the employee details. Okay. Now this is my department table. Now between these two tables, I will perform sets. Okay. Okay. Where is the primary key and which one is the foreign key? In which table I have the primary key, in which table I have the foreign key? Okay. Will I use employee ID to merge? Department ID I'll be using. So where in which table I have the department ID as the primary key? Obviously department table. And this will be my unique and not null. Can repetitive. Okay. So these are my final two tables now. Okay. Now we will see types of joins. The first one we have is inner join, not inner. We'll start with left. Okay. Left join. Okay. So the definition of left join is basically all the records from the left hand side table. When I say left hand side table, that means table 1. And the matching records. When I say records, records based on keys. And the matching records from the right hand side table. Okay. All the records, that means the entire data from the left hand side table and only the rows which are matching to the keys from the right hand side table. So this is my left hand side table. Entire data I want. I will have it. Okay. Right hand side table. This is my right hand side table. So department now table 1. This is my right hand side table. Okay. Now matching records. So one is matched with one, and this one is matched with this one and this one. So wherever I have one, I will have this record in front of that. Correct? Wherever I have two, this record will be in front of that. For 3, I will have this one. For 4, it will be this one. 3 will be this one. Now for 6, there is no department ID 6. So what will I have in front of the department ID 6? Null. Correct. I will have null. Where will be department ID 5? Nowhere. It won't be in the output. Because what is the definition of left join? Okay, all the records from the left hand side table and only the matching rows from the right hand side table. So matching keys, right? So 5 is not there in the left hand side table. So 5 won't be in the output. So let's do that. So it will be this one. And for 2, I will have this. For 3, this one. For 3. Then for 1, again, this one. And then for 1, again. For 2. For 3. And let me get the 4th. And this will be null. Clear? So this is how your left join looks like. Now, if I want the, let's say, whatever information from this table, I can get it. Clear? Any doubt in the left join? Yeah, it will be twice. Yeah.
डिपार्टमेंट आईडी मैच कर देगा मेरे डिपार्टमेंट आईडी दूसरे को थोड़ी
In the output, you will get the entire table. Okay. You can do the subsetting later in the select statement. But yeah, this is how it is. Clear everyone with the left join part? Okay. Then right join. All the records from the right hand side table plus matching records from the left hand. All the records from the right hand side table plus matching records from the left hand side table. So this will be mapped to this will be mapped to this will be mapped to this. Then 2 will be mapped to this one, and this row, and then 3 will be mapped to this row and this row, and 4 will be mapped to this one, null, and 6 will won't be in the output because all the rows from the right hand side table plus matching rows from the left hand side table. Okay. So let me just copy this over here. And so 1 के साथ I will map this one और 3 के साथ 3. Clear? In the right join? Any doubt in the all in, guys? Clear with the right join part? It is a yeah, that's how it's done. So right table will be on the right hand side. This is my right hand side table. Ideally, it should be done like this only, but I found it easy because I had all the data over here ना. मैं यहाँ पे ये वाला फर्स्ट वाला कॉपी करूंगा, देन आई विल व्हाट आई विल डू इज कि ये कैसे होगा ना, फिर मैं बता देता हूँ, ठीक है? अगर आप ऐसे कह रहे हो ना, लेट्स से इफ आई कॉपी दिस, ठीक है, देन आई वुड हैव टू मैप this with this one. Right? And वन के साथ वन मैप होगा ना, so it will be basically let's say 2 के साथ मैं 2 मैप कर देता हूँ यहाँ पे, 3 के साथ 3. So similarly basically it will be mapped, ठीक है? But you need what you need to understand is the relationship. You don't need to worry about over here the relationship, but how the relationship is going is when you are going, it is earlier it was what, many to 1, now it's 1 to many. That's how it is flowing. Clear? So ultimately whatever you do, the number of, let me just delete this, the number of rows okay, the number of rows will be same. Clear? All in, guys, let me know clear or not this right join part. Joining. No, in right, malab, I have just, what I have done is I have mapped like whatever mapping you are doing on the basis of the type of join, the number of rows will be same after joins. So what I mean by this is I have taken this is I'm doing manually first of all. So I have taken this table first because I found it easy to map the department table. It has less number of rows, right? So either you map this one to this one or this one first table to the second table, and you are performing right join. So output will be same. Number of rows will be same after joining. In that case also you will have null over here. Okay. So then we have, let's say this one, what will be? Let's talk about inner join over here. Okay. So what will be inner join? Matching records from both the tables. So let me get my. So when I say matching records, what will I have in the output? This one, this one, this one. Okay, then 2, 3 will be with 3, 4 will be with. Now, in the output, I won't have the department ID 5 and department ID 6. That means no null values, only matching values from both the tables.
After the table, you
Over here, let me just do it once. So basically, you will have no null values over here because you are just getting the common records from both the tables. Okay? Now, which type of join you need to perform, that depends on the question. Okay, we will see that, but first understand the types of joins. So this is what inner join is. Okay? Online guys, let me know clear or not till inner join part. What all we have seen over here. We have seen inner, left done, right, and what which one? Yeah, these three only. Yeah, so anyone having any doubt in these three joins type, clear? Online guys, let me know. Bhavna,
सर इनर जॉइन का एक बार टेबल निकाल लीजिए.
so it will have no null values, only common department IDs.
Okay sir. Yeah.
Then next type of join we have is full join. So full join is simply all the records from both the tables. Right? So here I will have 5th and 6th. And let me get the department paper also. So 1 will be mapped with 1. Over here, 2 will be mapped with 2. 3 will be mapped with 3. What will I have over here? What? Null. And then 1 will be mapped with 1 again. And 5. I will have null over here. Let me go this way. So this is what full join is. Basically, all the department IDs from both the tables. Either they are mapped or not, doesn't matter. जहाँ पे map नहीं हुई है वहाँ पे क्या आ जाएगा? Null. So this is what full join is, which is basically all the records from both the tables. Then we have so natural join we do not have in SQL Server. First thing. Second thing, so it's basically inner join only based on common column names. Okay. For all other joins, what you have to do is you have to define key on basis of which column you are performing the join. When you're performing natural join, what it will do, it will automatically pick up the common column names from both the tables, and based on that, it will perform the join. Again, not used in real life scenario. For example, you have two tables जिसमें 3-4 column के नाम same है, and you just want to perform a join on the basis of some single column. So it will just pick it up automatically because in natural join you don't have an option कि आप column डिफाइन कर सको कि कौन से कॉलम के बेसिस आपको ज्वाइन परफॉर्म करना है. It will pick up the common column names. अगर 10 common column होंगे तो उन 10 के basis पे वो join perform कर देगा. ठीक है? So not used in real life. Yes, in all of the joins we specify. ठीक है? Except natural join, or natural join we don't have in SQL also, SQL Server. Then we have seen full join also. Natural join done. Self join. Self join से पहले cross join कर लेते हैं. Full join, then we have cross join. What is cross join? In layman terms, if I have to understand what is cross join, right. Each row of left hand side table is mapped with all the rows of the right hand side table. ठीक है? Or you can say all the rows of the left hand side table is mapped with all the rows of the right hand side table. ठीक है? Okay. What do I mean by that is, again, let me get the, yes. And let me get the department ID also. I'm getting these two tables. Now I'll perform it. Okay. So let's say this is my employee ID1 table. Okay, done. And these are all the rows I have over here. Okay. So Control C. And so on. If you understand this, okay, what is happening? Each row of table 1 is mapped with all the rows of the table 2. Correct? Now, does this join make any sense? No, it is just increasing the size of the data. Correct? And basically, so the maximum number of rows that you can have after performing any join is returned by cross join. Right? Okay. Now, nine in the table 2, 5. So the formula for the cross join is basically M cross M is the number of rows of table 1, N is the number of rows of table 2. Okay. So when you say M cross N, which is basically what, 9 into 5. So maximum number of rows it will return is 45. So that is how you can identify what will be the number of rows if you perform a cross join. Again, not used in real life scenarios. But this natural join, cross join, all these are asked in the interviews. Okay? Clear with the cross join? Self join. What is self join? Self explanatory. A table joined with itself. Okay. Give me an example where I can make use of self join. Where I can make use of a self join, guys. Let me know. Online guys, self join कहाँ पे use होगा? Any example you can give me. So you guys remember the game Secret Santa? Yes or no?
So is it like a Cartesian product that we take?
Cartesian product is cross join.
Okay.
So self join can be left, right, inner. Whatever you perform, you will get the same number of rows because it's ultimately the same table you are joining with.
Right. Yes.
Other example could be, can I find out who is the manager of who? right? Okay, so let's see that. So let me have a manager table. Where do I have that? Now, what I want in the output is, see, let's understand this table. This ID means employee ID, employee name, employee salary, and the manager ID, right? Now, what is the common between manager ID and employee ID? Is there any common thing between manager ID and employee ID? Sorry? Correct. So, see, manager is all, this is manager ID given, right? So, manager is also an employee. So, he will have that employee ID. So, when I say manager ID is 3, that means that John Smith's manager is who? Tom. Who is the manager of Jane? Tom. Who is the manager of Tom? NA. Who is the manager of NA? No one. Probably she is the co-founder. Jeremy. Who is the manager of Jeremy? John. Because there are hierarchies, managerial positions available in the organizations, correct? Now,
That's named within the way. On join ID, the manager ID.
correct. So I told you which type of job you will perform. That depends on the question. Now my question is, I want to know कि who is the manager of whom. मेरे को नाम चाहिए, right? So what if? So on basis of which column should I do the merging?
ID.
Why not ID and ID? अगर मैं ID के basis पे करता हूँ merging, ID and ID के basis पे, तो क्या होगा?
Same people.
See, if I just copy this and I perform ID के basis पे ID यहाँ पे, see अब understand करो, अगर मैं ID के basis पे join करता हूँ, ID and ID के basis पे, तो क्या होगा? जो 1 है उसके सामने फर्स्ट वाला रिकॉर्ड आएगा, सेकंड के सामने सेकंड वाला, अल्टीमेटली आई एम गेटिंग द सेम टेबल. तो आउटपुट तो अभी भी नहीं आ रहा. व्हाट आई वांट, जो मैनेजर आईडी 3 है, यहाँ पे मेरे को क्या चाहिए? इसके करस्पॉन्डिंग आई वांट द रिकॉर्ड ऑफ द, क्योंकि यहाँ पे मेरे को मैनेजर का नाम चाहिए ना, करस्पॉन्डिंग टू द एम्प्लॉय नेम. वो कैसे आएगा? जब मैं मैनेजर आईडी को आईडी के साथ मर्ज करूंगा, राइट? सो वेर एवर इट इज 3, आई वांट दिस, करेक्ट? सो दिस विल कम ओवर देयर. Just okay, wherever it is 3, again same 4 की जगह we will have this, and यहाँ पे blank है तो it will be null. Let's say यहाँ पे मैं अगर लेफ्ट ज्वाइन कर रहा हूँ और यहाँ पे blank है तो it will be null, ठीक है? एंड यहाँ पे 1 की जगह पे this one, ठीक है? Now this is my joined table. From this joined table I need 2 things. I need employee ID and what? Manager name, right? Then I got the output. Who is the manager of whom? Example of self join. Clear? Guys, clear? Online guys, clear or not? कॉपी पेस्ट कर सकते हो अगर इफ यू आर श्योर कि वो जो प्रॉपर सैलरी का ऑर्डर है वो एम्प्लॉय टेबल से मैच कर रहा है। हाँ, ठीक है। ऑनलाइन गाइस, लेट मी नो क्लियर और नॉट टिल दिस पॉइंट। ज्वाइन। I'm not getting any response from the online guys. Guys, if you have any query, ask at this point. Okay. Okay. So let's do one thing. We are finished with joins. We will do the practical part of it after the break. So it's around 11. Let's have a break, and everyone be back by 11:20. Okay. Okay, guys, please settle down. So I'll be sharing this sheets with you. So this create table joins. Just open this thing. Open the sheet. And one second. Not right now. After the class. Okay. Now, what you need to do is you need to create a database. Whatever name you want to give to that database, you can give it. So let's say I have given that database name as joins. Okay. Because I'll be using it as a joins case study to explain that concept. So I have given the name to this case study, this database as joins. Once I have done that, what you need to do, you need to simply just select that database from here and click on execute. So the tables will be created and the data will be inserted. Okay. So let me show you what all tables I have over here. So I have a student table, a course table, and a mapping table. Okay. When I talk about student table, student ID, again, integer, data type, identity constraint, and primary key I have defined. The name, date of birth, data type is date time, phone number, and email of the student. Course table has course ID as the primary key and the name of the course. Okay, not student name of the course. Now, can I directly connect these two tables? No, because there's no common column on the basis of which I can perform the join because these are two different entity sets. Okay. Okay. Now, so therefore, I will require a third table, which is a mapping table, which has the foreign keys of both of these tables. So student ID here is the foreign key of the student table, and course ID is the foreign key of the course table. Okay. This is the basic overview of the structure of the table. Okay. Now, what I have after that, what we have done is I have inserted the values into the student table, course table, and mapping table. So mapping table just has the foreign keys, IDs over here. Okay. Good. So create your database and simply click on execute. That's it. Once you do that, so this is my database joins. And if I expand this, just a second, let me refresh. Joins and tables. So you can see I have three tables. Okay, I have all basically I've executed this beforehand. So I have these three tables over here. So I'll be sharing this sheet. You just need to simply create a database and simply click on execute. Okay, done. Now I don't require the sheet anymore over here. Okay, new query. Well, the first thing that I will do is one second, let me open up the questions also. Okay. Before attempting the question, let me select the database, which is joins. And first, what will I do? I will try to understand what all data I have in the table. Course ID on the basis of the name also, because these are two different things. Column name is same, but the data values are different. Here I have the student name, here I have the course name. Student ID and course ID. Now let's understand the tables. Okay, how we will understand? By performing the analysis. Okay, ये वाला question. So let me just tell you the syntax also, syntax of join. So you will say select star from, let's say, so table, or I should have TPL1, that is table name, and I'm giving some alias name to this, okay, as let's say A. Then you will say join type. What type of join is it? Inner join, left join, right join. Then you will give table, basically table name, second table name, and give the alias name to that table also, let's say as T. Okay? Now you have to tell on basis of which column you are performing the joins between these two tables. Okay, so you will say on. On is the keyword which you will be using. A dot column equals to B dot column. Okay, let's say A dot student ID equals to B dot student ID. Whenever the student ID is same, on the basis of the join type, the values will be merged. The table will be merged. Okay? After that, you will have your other queries like where, group by, having, order by. So this is the syntax. Clear? So wherever you used to fetch the tables, now in that after from only and before where, you will be performing the joins. Let's do that. Now understand the question carefully because we will perform the type of join based on the questions. Okay? Now it is saying display student details and the courses they are enrolled to. So I need student details. That means I require the entire student table. First thing. And the courses they are enrolled to. So that means only student ID will do the work. Course ID will do the work. Okay? It is saying student details, that means, and the courses they are enrolled to. Okay? So let's understand that. Which type of join I should do? Should I do left, right, what? Let's understand now what tables contain first. Select star from student, TBL student. Let's say if I do left join, okay? And TBL mapping as P on A dot student ID equals to B dot student ID. If I execute this, what I'm getting over here, what conclusion you can give me with this output? जो स्टूडेंट यहाँ पे स्टूडेंट टेबल में प्रेजेंट थे एंड मैपिंग टेबल आईडीज जो सिर्फ स्टूडेंट टेबल में प्रेजेंट है बट मैपिंग टेबल में प्रेजेंट नहीं है, क्यों नहीं प्रेजेंट है? करेक्ट. सो देयर आर टू थिंग्स. एक है कि अब क्वेश्चन इज आस्किंग कि जिन्होंने एनरोल किया है, देयर आर टू थिंग्स. स्टूडेंट में यहाँ पे डिटेल्स में स्टूडेंट टेबल में स्टूडेंट की डिटेल प्रेजेंट है क्योंकि फर्स्ट प्रोसेस क्या होता है? रजिस्टर करने का. लेट्स से ए लैब्स की बात कर लेते हैं. फर्स्ट थिंग यू डू इज रजिस्टर. Not everyone who was registered will enroll into the course. Second process is what? Enrollment. ठीक है. तो दैट मीन्स कि आई कैन से जो मैपिंग टेबल है वो उनमें सिर्फ वही स्टूडेंट आईडीज है जिन्होंने एनरोल किया है, राइट? तो दैट मीन्स कि कोर्स आईडीज भी वही होंगी जिनमें एनरोलमेंट हुआ है. यस और नो? सो आई कैन से कि जो कोर्स टेबल है, कोर्स टेबल में आई कैन हैव बोथ द कोर्सेज जिसमें एनरोलमेंट हुआ है और जिसमें एनरोलमेंट नहीं हुआ है. यस और नो? कॉन्टेक्स्ट समझ में आया? ठीक है. So I'm doing left join and I am saying display student details and the courses they are enrolled to. When I do left join, what will I get? I will get all the student details and it will give me what? दो स्टूडेंट्स जिन्होंने एनरोल किया है एंड जिन्होंने एनरोल नहीं किया है, दोनों मिल जाएंगे. बट मेरे को कौन सा चाहिए? एनरोल किया. तो व्हाट आई कैन डू? आई कैन से वेयर व्हाट, which one? Course ID. Or should I, can I take A dot student ID? Yes. Can I say is not null? Can I do that? Can I do this thing? How? Do this student ID is from my A table, this student ID is from my B table. If I take A dot student ID is not null, I will still get the entire student details. Do I need this in the output? So either I can take B dot course ID is not null or B dot student ID is not null. So I will say, let's say B dot student ID is not null or course ID is not null. Anyone you can take that. So these are the students who have enrolled into the student details who have enrolled into the courses. Basically student details and course details of students who have enrolled. Okay? Correct. Coming to that. Now, in order to eliminate this step, I can simply go with inner join. What inner join will give me? Common student IDs ke basis pe. So that means it won't give me the students who have not enrolled. So I can simply do inner join over here and I will get the same output. See. Now, if you ask me which one is the preferred method, preferred query, second one. Clear? Okay. If I do right join, what will happen? Can I do right join? What is the definition of right join? तो मेरे को सारे स्टूडेंट्स तो वैसे भी नहीं चाहिए ना. आई ओनली नीड दो स्टूडेंट्स जिन्होंने एनरोल किया है, और मैपिंग टेबल में सिर्फ वही स्टूडेंट आईडीज है जिन्होंने एनरोल किया है. तो कैन आई डू राइट ज्वाइन? व्हाई नो? नो. अगर सिर्फ स्टूडेंट आईडीज वही है, सी अंडरस्टैंड, अगर स्टूडेंट आईडीज में सिर्फ वही स्टूडेंट आईडीज है मैपिंग टेबल में जिन्होंने एनरोलमेंट की है, तो कोर्सेज भी तो वही होंगे ना जिन्होंने एनरोलमेंट हुई है, राइट? तो स्टूडेंट डिटेल्स तो ज्वाइन से आ रहा है ना, स्टूडेंट डिटेल्स तब भी आएगा. Correct. So I will get the same output as inner join in this case if I do the right join. In this case, I will get the same output as inner join. See? क्योंकि सिर्फ वही आईडीज मैप हो रही है ना जो प्रेजेंट है मैपिंग टेबल में, और मैपिंग टेबल में वही आईडीज प्रेजेंट है जिन्होंने एनरोलमेंट की है. दैट इज व्हाई आई टोल्ड यू टू अंडरस्टैंड द कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ द डेटा इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, कि व्हाट ऑल डेटा इज प्रेजेंट इन विच टेबल. अकॉर्डिंगली यू विल डू द ज्वाइन एंड डिपेंड्स ऑन द क्वेश्चन. तो यहाँ पे आप इन दोनों में से कोई भी ज्वाइन परफॉर्म कर सकते, बट नॉट लेफ्ट ज्वाइन. क्लियर? कौन सा? हाँ, इसमें क्या है, एक एडिशनल स्टेप, पहले तो आप ज्वाइन कर रहे हो, उसके बाद आप फिल्टरिंग कर रहे हो, राइट? सो कंप्यूटेशनली आई सेट विल बी ऑन द हायर साइड. अगर ये तो स्मॉल डेटा सेट है, फिर लार्ज डेटा सेट, तो यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है, ये जो फिल्टरिंग हो रही है ये ज्वाइनिंग के टाइम पे हो जाती है, तो आपको एक एडिशनल फिल्टर नहीं करना पड़ेगा बाद में. दैट इज व्हाई इट इज अ ऑप्टिमाइज्ड क्वेरी आई कैन से. एंड इवन यू कैन गो विद बिटवीन दीस टू, इधर इनर इधर राइट, इन दिस सिनेरियो. आउटपुट इसलिए आ रहा है क्योंकि राइट ज्वाइन में सिर्फ वही कोर्स आईडीज है जिन्होंने एनरोल किया है. ठीक है? आई होप एवरीवन इज क्लियर विद क्वेश्चन 1. This is very important. Which type of join you need to choose depends on the question. अगर यहाँ पे मैपिंग टेबल आप पहले ले रहे हो और स्टूडेंट टेबल बाद में ले रहे हो, ठीक है, तो आप लेफ्ट ज्वाइन कर सकते हो ना. आइडियली राइट ज्वाइन, तो आप यहाँ पे लेफ्ट ज्वाइन कर सकते हो. देन इन दैट केस राइट ज्वाइन वोंट बी करेक्ट. आ रहा है समझ में? ऑनलाइन गाइस, क्लियर और नॉट विद द क्वेश्चन 1? So when you have switched the position of the tables, so if you are taking left table as mapping table and right table as student table, so which your left table, the table that you write first is your left hand side table, and the second table will be your right hand side. So if I take mapping table first and student table second, so I'm switching the positions, right? So here left one was giving me all the student details except the including the ones who have not enrolled also. So if I switch the position, what will happen? And I perform the right join, then also I'm getting the student details who have not enrolled into the course, right? So understanding the data is very important. Understanding the question is also very important, and accordingly you will choose which type of join to perform. Online guys, let me know, clear or not question 1? Guys, I have to wait so much for the online guys to respond, and I'm getting the response only from Sparsh. Why not others? Valmeet, Bhavna.
सर एक्चुअली हो क्या रहा है ना कि आप जो एग्जांपल देते हो ना एक्सेल में, वो समझ में आ जाता है, ठीक है, वो इजी लगता है, राइट? आप यहाँ पे ऐसे रन करते हो फॉर्मूला और मतलब वो थोड़ा सा हार्ड पड़ जाता है, मतलब ऐसा हो
And
रहा है.
this should be much easier than what have I told you in Excel. See, Excel में I was just telling कि how joins work, right? अब यहाँ पे जो मैं बता रहा हूँ वो टोटली डिफरेंट कॉन्सेप्ट है. आई एम सेइंग कि आपका ज्वाइन प्रैक्टिकली यूज कैसे करना है. सो व्हेन यू अंडरस्टैंड कि हाउ ज्वाइंस वर्क एट द बैक एंड, you have to understand how can I use it practically. So that depends on the question. It is saying display student details. Student table is my left hand side table, and the courses they are enrolled to, which is mapping table. I understand that mapping table only contains those student IDs जिन्होंने enroll किया है, right? And student details contains those student IDs जिन्होंने register भी किया है and enroll भी किया है. तो I only want those जिन्होंने enroll किया है, right? अगर मैं left join करूंगा तो क्या होगा? जिन्होंने register किया और enroll किया तो दोनों आ जाएंगे. अगर मैं inner join करूंगा तो जिन्होंने सिर्फ enroll किया है वही आएंगे, और right join करूंगा तो भी same output आएगा. So that is how you have to understand in terms of the context of the question. अब यहाँ पे मैं वर्किंग नहीं देख रहा हूँ ना कि वर्क कैसे कर रहा है बैकएंड में. आई एम यूजिंग दैट नॉलेज टू अंडरस्टैंड कि विच टाइप ऑफ जॉइन आई शुड परफॉर्म. स्पर्श, व्हाट अबाउट यू? क्लियर? ओके. Question 2. Display details of all students and the count of courses they are enrolled to. ठीक है? Display details of all students and the count of courses they are enrolled to. So first of all, these are my tables. Understand the question, what the question is saying. So it is saying details of all students, that is this table, and the count of courses. So I can get the count with the course ID also. So course ID is in the mapping table. So I need to join these two tables. Okay? Now, which type of join I need to perform? Inner. And again, understand the question. Details of all students, and there are students जिन्होंने किसी भी कोर्स में एनरोल नहीं किया होगा, उनका काउंट क्या आएगा? 0. So I need that information also. So which join? Left. So I'll say select star from TPL student as A, left join TBL mapping as B on A dot student ID equals to B dot student ID. Right? Now what I want? I need to have, okay, ये वाला करते हैं. इससे पहले ये जो ये वाला था, if I execute this, I am having student ID repeating twice, right? So I need to do perform subsetting. So I can say, so what I need everything from table A and only course ID from table B. Yeah, so I can say over here, select what? A dot star. That is all the columns from table A and only B dot course ID from column B. So this will give me the relevant output. Similarly over here also. So A dot star. Along with this, what I want? Count. Count of what? B dot course ID as enrolled underscore count. Okay. Now this is a categorical, aggregated column. All these are what? Non-aggregated. So I will group by with these, copy with headers and put it into the group by, because I don't have to perform any filtering on the raw data. Student ID, comma, name, I can put this into the square brackets. Date of birth, phone, and email. That's it. Okay. Execute. It is saying ambiguous column name student ID. See, student ID is present with the same name in both the tables. Now, correct. Now Excel is confused from which table I am picking it up, right? So I can provide the reference A dot student ID. Done. So these are the details of the students, and these are the count of courses they are enrolled to. Clear? Which one? कुछ नहीं, इससे इट इज सेइंग डिटेल्स ऑफ ऑल स्टूडेंट्स, राइट? सो आई नीड दो स्टूडेंट्स आल्सो जिन्होंने एनरोल नहीं किया है, उनका काउंट 0 आ जाएगा. सो आई हैव जस्ट टेकन काउंट ऑफ द कोर्स आईडी आफ्टर मर्जिंग इट विद द मैपिंग टेबल. A dot star means everything from table A. I need to display the student ka details. So everything from table A, and from the table B, I am taking the count of the course ID. So this is the aggregated column. All these are what? Non-aggregated. So all these will go into group by. Yeah. So I have taken group by, so entire row.
ग्रुप में तभी कोई का नॉन एग्रीगेटेड को सिलेक्टेड मतलब एक्सप्लेन करना होगा
हाँ,
अगर हम नहीं यूज करेंगे तो फिर वो सीधा
single value देगा. Even if you're not displaying it in the select statement, the non-aggregated columns, and you are using it in the group by, it will still bifurcate, but it won't show you ki which what bifurcation is for which combination. Yes. Okay, question 3. Display details of students which are not yet enrolled to any course. So again, first thing is, see, पहले आप क्या decide करोगे यहाँ पे? Tables. Which tables you require, and among those tables, which columns you require. Second, what is the join type you are going to perform. Third, what is the calculation you are going to perform. ठीक है? These 3 steps you need to remember. Which 2 tables? Student table and mapping table. Which join type? Which join type? Left join. Because I need those students only जिन्होंने enroll नहीं किया है. And student table is the only table which contains details of all the students. So select start from TBL student as A and left join TBL mapping as B on A dot. Student ID equals to B dot student ID. यहाँ पे course ID नहीं होगा, ठीक है? Same column name for done. So I need only null. So I can say where B dot student ID or B dot course ID, let's say, ठीक है? Anything you can take is null. So there are only these two students who have not enrolled to any course. Now I don't want to show this null. Right? What will I do? I need to show this much data, na? Because these are the student details who have not enrolled to any course. So I can say A dot star, everything from table A. Done. So this is my output. Okay. Question 4. List all courses and the count of students enrolled to each course. So first, always see the data and understand. So it is saying कि I need the all courses. कहाँ पे आएगा? सारे courses कहाँ पे है? Course table में. And the count of students, I need to know कि in which course how many students are enrolled. Right? So I have a student ID in the mapping table, and in this mapping table there are only those student IDs जिन्होंने enrollment की है. Right? So which 2 tables I will need? Course table and mapping table. Now which type of join between these 2 tables? Which type of join? Course table may contain what type of courses? Bifurcation क्या हो सकता है courses का? Enrolled or not enrolled. Not enrolled का count क्या आएगा? So I need to display all the courses ना. I need to know कि which are the courses जहाँ पे enrollment नहीं हुई है, so that I can either discontinue or introduce a new course. Not inner, why inner? Inner will filter those courses जिनमें enrollment नहीं हुई है. उनका count नहीं आएगा फिर. ठीक. You understand? Student table में 2 टाइप के students थे जिन्होंने enroll किया है और register किया है. अब course table में we have 2 type of courses जिसमें कि कुछ स्टूडेंट्स ने एनरोल किया है जिसमें बिल्कुल भी एनरोलमेंट नहीं हुई है. राइट? सो आई विल डू व्हाट? सेलेक्ट स्टार फ्रॉम TBL course as A, left join, let's say, TBL mapping as B, क्योंकि मैपिंग टेबल ओनली कंटेन्स दोज कोर्सेज या दो स्टूडेंट आईडीज जिन्होंने एनरोल किया है या जिनमें एनरोलमेंट हुई है. रजिस्टर वाले है ही नहीं यहाँ पे. ऑन A dot course ID equals to B dot course ID. If you see this, this is what I have, right? So there are 3 courses: Java, Java SAS, .NET PHP, जिसमें enrollment 0 है. So what I need to do? Right. Okay. So I can have A dot star and count of what? A dot student ID, sorry, B dot student ID as student underscore count. Group by what? A dot course ID, A dot name. Okay. So these are the courses and the count of students enrolled in each course. So Java, .NET, PHP, zero enrollment. This analysis makes sense. So what are these questions? These are your analysis only. Is everyone clear? Any doubt in the 4 questions that we have done? Online guys, clear with this joints case study? So it is very important that you understand the relationship between the tables. Right? For example, mapping table contains only those student IDs जिनमें enrollment की है, not the ones जिन्होंने register किया है. So ये clarity होना बहुत important है. Okay. So with this, we are done with this joints concept. Okay. Now let's understand one more thing, which is sets. Okay. So in SQL, we have these different types of sets, which is we have union all, we have union, we have except, sorry, we have intersect, and then we have except. Okay. These are the 4 types of sets we are having. In SQL, sets are used for what? Appending. What type of appending you want to do? That depends on these 4 set operators. Okay. Okay. When I say union all, so what will I do is 1 second. Let me take an example. Okay? 1 second. Let me take an example. Let's say I have set A equals to, let's say 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have a set B which is 2, 4, 8, 10, 11, 12. Okay? I have these 2 sets. Now, what union all does is all the elements from both the sets allowing duplicate values. Okay. So let's say the output is set C. Let me take the C over here. C. What do you think? What will be the set C will contain the values?
All the values from A and
2, 3, 4, 5, then 7, then 8, then 9, then 10, comma 10, comma 11, comma 11, comma 12.
12.
This is what union all does. If you just write union all, comma 12 one more time, right? If you just write union all, it will automatically perform this. Okay? Then union. Union is nothing. It is union all plus distinct. It removes the duplicate values. So let me start it. Remove the So what will be the output over here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is what union does. Intersect. Common from both the sets. So I can simply say as A intersect B. Okay? So when I say A intersect me, see what union all was. Let me tell you, union all and union are same only. So I have set A, set B. Okay? So this is what union all is. Okay? Everything from both the sets. Union will do what? It will take everything but only remove the duplicate values. Okay? Then comes intersect. Intersect will give you only the common values from both the sets. So this part. Only common values. Okay. So what will I have in the set C, which is the result set? 10, 11, 12. Then I have except. So except may I have 2 things. One is A minus B and the second one is B minus A. Okay. When I say A minus B, the formula will be A minus A intersect B. When I say B minus A, it is B minus A intersect B. Okay. If I show you it in the Venn diagram, so again, I have A, I have B. When I say A minus B, so that means all the elements from set A, okay, and eliminating the common elements from set B. So ultimately, I'm left with this only. That is the values which are present in set A and not present in set B. Not unique. Yeah. So I can say over here, values present in set A and not present in set B. That's the other way of understanding it. ठीक है? अगर set B में present है तो वो output में नहीं आएगी. Similarly for the B, the value only present in set B and not in set A. ठीक है? Let's understand A minus B का what will be the resultant set. So A minus B, that means only in A and not in B. So let's see over here. So 1 will come, then 3 will also come, 5 will also come, 7 will also come, 9 will also come. That's it. That's A minus B. Tell me what will be B minus A? 2, 4, 8. Right? So it depends on the question whether you will do A minus B or B minus A. Okay? From which side you don't want the output. So that's what accept is. Any doubt in the theoretical part of the sets? Online guys, clear with this? So you don't have to perform manually, you just have to write these keywords and that will be done automatically. Online guys, clear or not with the
Yes,
sets
clear.
part?
Yes.
Okay. So let's do another case study. So this is a MSO case study, which is Management Service Organization, an organization who is managing the services. The services can be anything. Let's say if we have a, let's say we have a, let me check. We have a Airtel company or any Wi-Fi provider, or let's say telecom, any telecom services, any telecom company we have. So what all services it will manage? It will manage the complaints. It will manage other things like installation of these services, like Wi-Fi installation or removing the connection of the Wi-Fi or disconnecting the services. All these things will be taken care by this, and for each customer, these records will be maintained in the database, right, in the tables. So this is what this MSO data is all about. Again, we have a code already written for this. So what you will do is, let me just open this up. Yeah, let it open up. What you need to do is you have to create a database. You can give the name to that database as MSO case study. And after creating that database, just select that database and execute this. Okay? Let's understand the tables that we have over here. So we have a customer table, a house table, then work order table, complaint order table, order item table, and I have already shown you the schema for this. Okay? I'll show you again, but let's understand how these tables are created. Again, customer ID as the primary key identity constraint. Starting value will be this. First name of the customer, last name of the customer, date of birth, data type is date, not null constraint is given. If no date is given, then the default date will be what? See, it is already converted. It will be converted into date data type. Phone number, default phone number is given as 00. Email address, it should be unique, constraint is applied. Maximum characters can be 70. So this is what customer table is, right? Then house table we have, again, house ID will be the house ID HSC. And it is not taken as a primary key. I'll tell you the reason for that. Then we have address, city, country, customer ID. Basically, it is linked to which table? Customer table. So it is the foreign key over here, primary key in the customer table. Now there is a constraint which are used, which are defined as primary key. And PK underscore K is the name of the primary key for the house table. And these I have taken the composite primary key in the customer table. house table. Why I have taken the composite primary key? Just not house ID will do the work because it will be unique. No, it is house ID is unique. I'm telling you that. So why just not house ID I've taken? In the house table, all the house IDs are unique. So why not just house ID as the primary key? I have to take the customer ID along with it. Correct. So let's say there's a property in Gurgaon and there's a property in Delhi. Okay. So what A has done is A has bought this Gurgaon property along with C. And A has also bought this Delhi property along with D. So house ID is same, but customers they are basically one house is having multiple owners. Right? Now, if I represent this in the house table, I will have unique house IDs only. Okay? But what is the problem over here? Let's say in the Gurgaon house, I have asked for a Wi-Fi services, right? So let's say whatever the service I have opted for, let's say Wi-Fi connection, okay? Let's say there's a work order table. So if I want to perform join between the house table and the work order table, so what that will do, let's say that work order table charged me around whatever the cost was, 100 rupees, for example. And I will have over here house ID, ठीक है? अब हाउस आईडी के बेसिस पे करूंगा मैं, तो दैट मींस दिस रिकॉर्ड विल बी मैप टू व्हाट, लेट्स से ये हाउस आईडी अलग है, ये वाली हाउस आईडी अलग है, गुड़गांव वाली हाउस आईडी इज 101 एंड दिल्ली वाली हाउस आईडी इज 102, राइट? तो 101 में क्या होगा, इट विल दिस रिकॉर्ड विल बी मैप्ड ट्वाइस, one for customer A and one for customer C, because one house is having multiple owners, right? So which is incorrect. Ideally सिर्फ A ने opt किया है ना, A is paying for the services, so why is it mapped with the customer C also? It should be ideally mapped with A101, that is customer A having the house ID 101. So that's how we will take this composite primary key. That is why I'm taking this composite primary key, because my merging will be incorrect if I just take house ID. Understood? For the correct mapping of the records, I have to take the composite primary key over here. Any doubt in this part why I have taken the composite primary key? So you have to just don't get with that whether it is unique or not null. You have to also understand the context of the table. Then we have work order table. So order ID is the primary key. Again, customer ID work order, house ID work order, type of work, which customer ID, which house ID, type of work order, then on which date the basically request was raised, on which date it was completed, what's the status, whether it's still in open state or the request has been closed. Then if I need to connect this work order table with the house table, I will use what? Composite foreign key, right? Because house table is having composite primary key. Then complaint order table. Again, so this table is for the services that have been provided. If there are complaints, let's say Wi-Fi काम नहीं कर रहा है, या let's say there is a speed problem. So what all complaints I will be making, that will be registered in the complaint order table. Okay, again, order ID of the complaint is primary key, customer ID, which house ID, what is the type of complaint order, on which date the complaint was raised, on which date it was completed, status, what is the status, open or closed. Again, if I need to connect complaint order table with the house table, I need to have composite foreign key. Okay. Then there's a order item table. So ID, again, this table is having no primary key, only one foreign key, which is order ID. Okay, I will be connecting this table with the work order table. Now, see what I have done in the genre. I have applied a check constraint. Whatever the genre is, it should be among these four only, not other than that. If there's any other genre, it won't be entered. Okay, let me show you the schema for this. So I have just inserted the records into the tables for each of the tables. Okay? What I will do is, let me just show you the schema. So this is the schema of this case study, MSO. So if you check, okay, this is customer table, house table, both are connected on the basis of customer ID. Complaint order table and work order table are connected on the basis of composite foreign key. And order item table is connected with the work order table. Like what all prices, what for the services they are providing. Okay? So order ID is the foreign key, यहाँ पे primary key. Now, what do you think? What should we perform between these two tables? Join or append? Append. Same number of columns, same data type. Ideally, see, this is a common table, single table, whose name is orders. Now, orders are of three types. It can be installation, disconnect, and complaint. So, in order to achieve the atomicity level, what they have done, they have just divided this table into two parts. Okay, so this is the parent table ideally, which is divided into two child tables, just to have a better management of the data. Ideally, these two are same table. If I append these two, it becomes a parent table. In that context, I have divided this table into two tables or two separate tables. One is complaint and one for the services. Ideally, this is a single table only. But for the better management of the data, this is done by the data engineer. Okay. So this is the schema. Any doubt in the schema part? No? Okay. Now let's understand, if we try to explore, what do you think? What type of customers we will have in the customer table? If we talk about house table and customer table, what all reasoning you can give me, like about the context of the data? So in the customer table, there are customers who have the houses. There can be customers who do not have any houses also. House address. It is possible. I will clarify that when I will be basically exploring the table, right? Okay. Now, if I talk about complaint order table or work order table, there may be houses who have not opted for any services, so they won't be in the work order table. There may be houses who haven't complained even once, so they won't be in the complaint order table. So these things you can understand by just looking at the schema and the data. Once you are clear with this, you are good to go with the joins. Okay. Now let's understand the joins. Over here. Okay. So again, execute. Now I will select, I have already this table database. So I will select MSO. This one. These are the tables I have. Let me just save this. Okay. What do you think? What is the first step that I will do? Check the data in the tables, right? Because it's very important. Otherwise, you'll be very confused key which table to connect with. So I'll say select top 1 star from TBL customer. Okay. I need to change the database from MSO TBL customer. So that file which I showed you, you need to create a database and execute it. I have already executed it once. Okay. So I have a customer table, then I will have the house table. So you can keep the table in order, like whichever order you understand is very easy for you to understand. Okay? So then I will take the TBL, let's say work order, complaint order, any of the above, TBL, complaint order, and then at the last I will keep TBL work order. Okay? Work order item. Order item. And execute. These are the 5 tables I'm having. Okay? Okay. Now let's understand the questions. So you can see what all columns I have over here. So if when there is a part where there is a question where I'm using these two tables, first I will append these two tables and then perform the whatever calculation I need to do. Okay? So also you need to understand the hierarchy over here. For example, let's say order ID यहाँ पे है compare work order. ठीक है, let's understand with example questions only. So it is saying, in order to post welcome letters and user guides to customers, dispatch team need customer name, address, and contact details. Write SQL query to get desired info. ठीक है, क्वेश्चन पढ़ा. Now understand कि ठीक है, वेलकम लेटर पोस्ट करने हैं कस्टमर्स को. So we need customer details, their address, we need customer name, their address, and their contact details. सो कस्टमर नेम एंड कॉन्टैक्ट डिटेल्स तो कस्टमर टेबल से आ जाएंगे, एड्रेसेस कहाँ से आएंगे, हाउस टेबल से. दैट मीन्स आई नीड दीज टू टेबल्स. आई विल मर्ज ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द कस्टमर आईडी. ठीक है, ओके. नाउ अब कस्टमर में टेबल में इट में प्रेजेंट दे आर कस्टमर्स हु डू नॉट हैव हाउस एड्रेसेस. सी हाउ इट कैन बी कि let's say when the flats are allocated or any house is allocated, there are a lot of customers who are registered for the same, but not everyone gets the flat. So, but the customer details will still be there in the customer table, but not in the house table. So they won't have an address, basically. They won't have a customer ID in that case. So what will I do? Let's say I will say select star from TBL customer as a, and if I do left join to clarify this thing, I can perform a join first and then understand the data. This is a 5-minute analysis that I can do before starting every case study. So I can say left join TBL house as B on A dot customer ID cus equals to B dot house ID HSC. Sorry, not house ID. My house ID customer ID HSC. Cust ID HSC. These are the just naming conventions that this ID is of customer table, this ID of customer in the house table. If I do that, execute. ठीक है. See. So that means these customers do not have any house addresses. See, this is easy to check when you have around 510 rows. When you have millions of data, how will you check? So you have been left join, right? So that means कि जो null value है वो कौन सी टेबल में प्रेजेंट होगी, राइट टेबल में. So you can pick any column from the right hand side table and you can say b dot, simply you can say house ID, that should be null, is null, and you can check whether there are null values or not. So that means कि there are customers who do not have any house addresses. अगर एड्रेस ही नहीं है तो लेटर्स कैसे सेंड करेंगे, करेक्ट? सो दैट मीन्स आई डोंट नीड दीज इन द आउटपुट. ठीक है, सो दिस इज वन एनालिसिस आई हैव डन. सो आई डोंट नीड दिस. सो व्हाट विल आई डू? ईदर आई कैन डू राइट जॉइन, बिकॉज जितने भी कस्टमर आईडी प्रेजेंट है हाउस टेबल में वो सारी कहाँ पे प्रेजेंट होंगी, कस्टमर टेबल में प्रेजेंट होगी, प्लस एक्स्ट्रा भी प्रेजेंट है कस्टमर टेबल में. और आई कैन गो विद इनर जॉइन, कॉमन कस्टमर्स फ्रॉम बोथ द टेबल्स, इनर जॉइन. So this will only give me पहले 510 rows थी, now 500. That means there are 10 customers who do not have any house addresses. ठीक है. Now, what do you think? This is my output. Can I share this? No. This because I have to create a report, right? So what I need? Customer name. So I'll say A dot. So again, I have to say concat. Everyone understand concat? One next I have is concat WS, which is concat with separator. So concat में क्या आता है? If you have more than 2 columns, you have to specify the delimiter again and again. In concat underscore WS, you have to just specify the delimiter just in the starting. Okay? So you can say the delimiter is, let's say, space, and I can say A dot first name, comma A dot last name as cust underscore name. Okay? What else I need to show? Addresses. Okay, again concat with separator. So I have to specify, and let's say the addresses I'm mentioning hyphen. And what I need to show? So I will start from country HSC. So I will say B dot country HSC, then comma B dot city HSC, then comma B dot address HSC, then comma B dot house ID HSC as address underscore. What else? Contact details also. So यहाँ पे mention कर देते contact details. I can say A dot phone number, and I can say A dot email address. So this is what I want to share. This is what I'm going to be sharing. Clear? एक्स्ट्रा कैसे करते हैं? तो select statement from
ये जो टेबल है, इस टेबल को हमें अगर CSV फाइल में एक्सट्रैक्ट करना हो तो किसमें?
कहाँ पे एक्सट्रैक्ट करना होगा? तो
और ये टेबल को जो आंसर आया, ये जो रिपोर्ट शेयर करने को, इसको ना एक्सट्रैक्ट करके CSV फाइल में कन्वर्ट करने को.
there are two things. Either you can simply just click over here, it will copy the entire thing, and you can paste it.
But
ठीक है?
500 है बिल्कुल. But उनको कॉपी करने के
Yeah. So in that case, see, I ideally will be sharing the queries. They can simply execute it. ठीक है? Or what you can do,
client execute थोड़ी करना है.
Simply can execute this. Right? Mainly you'll be creating a summary. Summary won't be of millions of rows. Right? So summary won't be million of rows. Ideally, one thing you can do is simply copy and paste, or if some option you should have export or save result as, and it will be saved in the CSV file. Okay? Because second option is you can create a view, but view is not suggested. So let's say if you are doing 100 analysis, so you won't be creating 100 views, right? Because view is itself a virtual table, so that you won't be doing. You can do right also. Same output you'll get. Right में आइडली कस्टमर आईडी के बेसिस पे मैपिंग हो रही है. राइट 10 टेबल में विच इज माय हाउस टेबल, उसमें कौन सी कस्टमर आईडीज है जिनके पास हाउस एड्रेसेस है, राइट? So if I do right join also, that means ki all those customers ID are already present in the customer table. Plus we have extra customer IDs in the customer table who do not have addresses.
But अगर customer table पे blanks
Blank हो तो that means ki he does not have that address, house address.
उसके पास customer है. Suppose
Customer ID नहीं है.
उसके पास मतलब कि फोन नंबर या फिर ऐसा कोई पर्टिकुलर है तो उसका ना ब्लैंक है
इसका
कस्टमर आईडी में
हम्म.
कस्टमर का, बट उसके पास हाउस एंड ऑल तो है.
हाँ.
तो हम क्या नल वैल्यूज के साथ ही उसके पास फिर
Ideally your null value should not be in the
या फिर
keys.
अच्छा आपने वहां पे कंस्ट्रेंट इसी
Even you have let's say email customer आपका blank है for example, तो phone customer तो है, ये भी blank है तो house address तो है, right? But ideally basis of join is कि custom house table में सिर्फ वही customer IDs होंगी जिन्होंने houses के लिए opt किया है, जिनको allocate हुआ है. ठीक है? So this is question 1. Clear everyone? Okay. Question 2. So first thing, just execute this always. Now it will be very easy. Get the details of customers who are using our services in more than one location. Break the question first. I need details of customers. That means ki I need customer table using our services in more than one location. Do I need house address or house ID will do the work? See, that means I need customer table. Okay? And who are using our services in more than one location. Okay? So if I talk about this table, which is a complaint table, I don't require this table because अगर service install ही नहीं हुई है, see, if the service is not installed, how will you complain about it? Right? So I just want to know कि customer services in more than one location. कैसे पता चलेगा? Which two tables I will need? I need work order table and customer table. I have the customer ID over here on basis of which I can do the join. ठीक है? ठीक. So I will say select star from TBL customer as a which type of join with the work order table? House ID table. Okay. I need customer details. So I need customer table. First thing I cannot take the house table. Okay. So first thing. Second, who are using services in more than one location. अगर मैं इसको हाउस आईडी के साथ मर्ज कर सकता हूँ, अगर मेरे को हाउस डिटेल चाहिए होगा तो आई डोंट नीड द हाउस डिटेल्स. कर सकते हैं बट आई डोंट नीड द हाउस डिटेल्स ना. I just need house ID. And house ID is present in the work order table also. House table won't tell me. See, अब house table if you try to understand, in house table, all the houses has not opted for the services. जरूरी नहीं है ना कि सब सारे houses ने services के लिए opt किया होगा. That you can check always. You can do left join of the house table with the work order table. You will find the houses जिनमें null values आ रही है. तो हाउस आईडी कहाँ पे है? यहाँ पे है ना, वर्क ऑर्डर टेबल में भी हैव द हाउस आईडी. अगर I have a flat in Gurgaon and in Delhi, तो गुड़गांव में चाहिए तो गुड़गांव की हाउस आईडी दूंगा मैं. इफ आई वांट दैट कनेक्शन इन दिल्ली, आई विल गेट द हाउस आईडी ऑफ द दिल्ली. One customer can have multiple houses and one house can be occupied by multiple customers. Correct. Correct. अगर मल्टीपल सी, अगर एक कस्टमर है, ठीक है, अंडरस्टैंड, ये वर्क ऑर्डर टेबल है. अगर मैंने गुड़गांव दिल्ली दोनों के लिए सर्विसेज के लिए ऑप्ट किया है, तो मेरे जो रिकॉर्ड है यहाँ पे 2 बार आएगा ना. एक गुड़गांव के लिए आएगा, एक दिल्ली के लिए आएगा. वो दोनों रिकॉर्ड्स हाउस टेबल में भी होंगे. हाँ होंगे. ओके, अगेन लेट मी एक्सप्लेन दिस. मैं हाउस टेबल क्यों नहीं कंसिडर करूंगा यहाँ पे? अगर मैं सिर्फ हाउस टेबल ज्वाइन करता हूँ कस्टमर टेबल के साथ, दैट इज द क्वेश्चन, राइट? ओनली दीज 2 tables I'm considering. So this will tell me which customer is having the houses, right? Not all houses will opt for the services. If you want to join these 3 tables, that can be done. ठीक है. What you are saying is कि let's say ये दोनों कर देते हैं हाउस. नहीं भाई, तो बता रहा हूँ मैं. Why we can't do this 2 is, अगर मैं इनको कोई भी ज्वाइन करता हूँ, इनर या राइट, ठीक है, आउटपुट में क्या देगा वो हाउस आईडीज, वो कस्टमर्स जिन्होंने हाउसेस के लिए ऑप्ट किया है. करेक्ट. इज इट टेलिंग मी कि उन्होंने कोई सर्विस के लिए ऑप्ट किया कि नहीं किया? लेट्स से यू हैव 2 हाउसेस, वन इन दिल्ली, वन इन गुड़गांव. ठीक है, आपकी कस्टमर टेबल और हाउस टेबल को मैंने मर्ज कर दिया. वो मेरे को क्या डिटेल दे रहा है आउटपुट में कि आपके हाउसेस कहाँ कहाँ पे है? करेक्ट. इज इट टेलिंग मी कि आपने किस घर में कौन से सर्विस के लिए ऑप्ट किया है और किया भी है कि नहीं किया है? वो कैसे पता चलेगा? वो तो वर्क ऑर्डर टेबल बताएगी ना. व्हाट इज द टाइप ऑफ. हाँ करेक्ट करेक्ट. एड्रेस दिया होगा तो एड्रेस तो मैं यहाँ से, अगर मेरे को एड्रेस फेच करना होगा तो मैं हाउस टेबल लूंगा, बट मेरे को एड्रेस नहीं चाहिए ना. हाउस आईडीज दी होंगी. अब आई एम फेचिंग द हाउस एड्रेस यूजिंग द हाउस आईडीज. तो यहाँ पे मेरे को हाउस एड्रेस नहीं चाहिए ना. यहाँ पे आई जस्ट नीड कस्टमर डिटेल्स, कॉन्टैक्ट नंबर, ईमेल एड्रेस, लाइक दैट. अगर मेरे को हाउस डिटेल्स चाहिए होगा तो आई विल बी यूजिंग दिस टेबल, देन आई विल बी यूजिंग दीज 3. सिर्फ हाउस डिटेल चाहिए होगा तो आई विल बी यूजिंग दीज 2. सिर्फ कस्टमर डिटेल चाहिए होगा तो आई विल बी यूजिंग दीज 2, वर्क ऑर्डर एंड कस्टमर. अगर आपने लेट्स से दिल्ली वाले की आईडी 1001 है और 1002 गुड़गांव वाले की, अगर आपने दोनों के लिए ऑप्ट किया तो हाउस आईडी यहाँ पे प्रेजेंट होगी ना. यहाँ पे तो आपकी कस्टमर आईडी यहाँ पे 2 बार रिपीट होगी. कस्टमर आईडी तो सेम है, हाउस आईडी डिफर करेगी अगर लोकेशन अलग है तो. अगर आपने सर्विसेज ऑप्ट किया फिर बाद में डिस्कनेक्ट कर दिया है तो हाउस आईडी भी रिपीट होगी सेम लोकेशन की. Yes. So which type of join I will perform now with the work order table of the customer table? Left. Guys, tell me which join. वर्क ऑर्डर टेबल क्या कंटेन करके रखती है? वो कस्टमर आईडी के डिटेल्स, वो कस्टमर्स है, वो हाउस आईडीज जिन्होंने सर्विसेज के लिए ऑप्ट किया, राइट? कस्टमर टेबल क्या कंटेन करके रखती है? कस्टमर्स जिन्होंने ऑप्ट किया है और नहीं भी किया है, जिनका, राइट? ठीक है. अब मेरे को कौन से चाहिए? जिन्होंने ऑप्ट किया है. तो विच टाइप ऑफ ज्वाइन, इनर और राइट, दोनों में से कोई भी. सो लेट मी गो विद इनर ज्वाइन EPL work order as B on A dot customer ID cus equals to B dot customer ID work order. Once I do that, I have my data. अब मेरे को क्या चाहिए यहाँ पे? What I concept क्या लगेगा? Someone has switched off their mic. कौन सा लगेगा यहाँ पे कॉन्सेप्ट? फिल्टरिंग, सॉर्टिंग, क्या लगेगा? करेक्ट. समराइज करेंगे ना. काउंट चाहिए सबका, हर एक कस्टमर आईडी का काउंट आएगा, कितने एड्रेसेस हैं, राइट? काउंट चाहिए. उसके बाद क्या चाहिए? फिर उसको फिल्टर करेंगे समराइज डेटा को. तो हैविंग क्लॉज यूज करूंगा मैं. सो आई नीड व्हाट? कस्टमर डिटेल्स. सो आई विल से let me, instead of doing that, I need to do this only. So I will take this. ठीक है. Now what I need? Count of what? House. Sorry, which table is it? B. B dot, not from A. A में तो है भी नहीं ना. House ID work order as count underscore location. ठीक है. So after that I need to group by these non-aggregated columns. Correct? अच्छा, यहाँ पे ये नहीं आएगा ना, ये नहीं आएगा, e-listening नहीं आएगा. Done. Execute. Yeah. So we have the count of location for each of the customers. ठीक है. Is it correct? What we need to do? Having. ठीक है. Having what? Count of this greater than 1 I can take or greater than equals to 2. कितने रोज है? 420. अब कितने हैं? 93. Now is it correct? Is it correct?
So order by.
Why order by? 5 2. Why order by? Is it correct or not? Huh? That's the same thing. Now just tell me, ये हाउस आईडी मैंने ली है, ठीक है, क्या ये करेक्ट है? लेट्स से आई हैव अब वो वर्क ऑर्डर टेबल है, दैट मींस की सर्विसेज, राइट? कोई भी सर्विस इंस्टॉल कराया तो डिस्कनेक्ट भी तो करा सकते हैं ना. दूसरे वाले से कैसे, मतलब? या सो दैट कैन बी अ सिनेरियो, बट यहाँ पे वो है नहीं. दैट कैन बी कंसीडर्ड, बट मैं यहाँ पे एक बार चेक करते लेट्स से आपने वाईफाई लिया है, ठीक है, इंस्टॉल करा दिया, बट आपने फिर बाद में डिस्कनेक्ट भी हो सकता है कि कुछ कस्टमर्स ने डिस्कनेक्ट भी कराया हो. तो ये जो हाउस एड्रेस है, सेम हाउस एड्रेस की बात कर रहा हूँ, 1001. तो इसका रिकॉर्ड कितनी बार आ रहा है? आना कितनी बार चाहिए? तो व्हाट विल आई डू? काउंट एक बार होना चाहिए ना, वो 2 बार काउंट हो रहा है, 5 बार काउंट हो रहा होगा. व्हाट शुड आई डू? डिस्टिंक्ट count of what? पहले distinct house IDs, it will give the distinct house IDs and then it will take the count of it. So पहले अगर मैं check करूँ, I had around 420 rows. Let's check how many rows do I have now. Same. So if I do that, then 93. Same है, तो मतलब कोई repeat नहीं हो रहा है सच. Clear? पहले कितना था without distinct?
93.
Same था.
93 था सर.
Okay, but ideally this should be the thing, distinct. ठीक है. Let me one more. Let me check to clarify this. Let me check the work order table. Table work order. Done. So I have installed disconnect. Disconnect I have. So customer ID 100088383 something like that. If I check कि है कोई ऐसा, so let me say. Distinct, or let me just take select A dot as A, and how can I check this? I can say A dot customer ID and A dot house ID. Okay. I have 531 rows. If I take distinct of this, 489 rows. So that means कि it was repetitive, no? House IDs were repetitive or repeating. But जब मैं यहाँ पे group by कर रहा हूँ और count ले रहा हूँ, okay. Using our services in more than one location.
आपने जो नीचे extent लगाया, कस्टमर आईडी तो एक ही होगा जिसके पास मल्टीपल हो सकते हैं.
या
तो आपने अगर डिस्टेंट ए पे लगाया तो कस्टमर आईडी एक ही बार शो होगा, बचे हुए सारे तो उसका डिलीट कर.
वो combination ले रहा है. Okay, so let's understand this data. It is saying using our services in more than one location. ठीक है. सर्विस अगर यूज में है तो दैट मीन्स कि व्हाट टाइप ऑफ वर्क ऑर्डर शुड बी व्हाट install. So I need to do filtering beforehand. If I do that, where a dot, or I should say, what is the b dot type of work order equals to install. Let's check how many rows I have now before distinct. 420, and after distinct, same.
This is early 420. So,
कुछ तो इसमें दिक्कत है.
61,
61,
90, 93,
तो यहाँ पे चेंजेस आ रहे हैं.
13, 32%.
तो यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा था?
सर इसमें उसने डिस्कनेक्ट वाले रूम करें इंस्टॉल वाले को पहले
यहाँ पे हम फिल्टर करें इंस्टॉल वाले के लिए. तो हाँ, तो व्हाट कुड हैव हैपेंड लास्ट टाइम इज, यहाँ पे इंस्टॉल वाला इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट स्टेप. पहले क्या हो रहा था जब हमने इंस्टॉल नहीं लिया था, तो जो डिस्कनेक्ट वाला था ना, दैट वाज इंक्रीजिंग द ओवरऑल काउंट इवन आफ्टर टेकिंग डिस्टिंक्ट. डिस्टिंक्ट तो यहाँ तक काम कर रहा है ना, ग्रुप बाय तक. तो इवन इफ यू डू ग्रुप बाय एंड हैविंग, तो मतलब डिस्टिंक्ट ही आ रहा है, ठीक है. आइडियली हाउ इट इज वर्किंग इन द बैकएंड कि पहले मैंने ज्वाइन परफॉर्म किया, then I performed the filtering installation, then I did summarization, and then I did the filtering on the aggregated data. So difference यहाँ पे आ रहा है. Earlier also I had 420 rows, ठीक है. बट क्या हो रहा था, क्योंकि इंस्टॉल और डिस्कनेक्ट दोनों एक हाउस आईडी में ऐड हो रहे थे, तो इट वाज ग्रेटर देन 1 इवेंचुअली, राइट. So 30-40 addresses were like that which were greater than 1. So now this is the correct output, ठीक है. यहाँ पे distinct is necessary by the way, ठीक है. So now this will give me what? Correct. So अगर मैं, if I talk about the customers who are using the services in more than one location, so there are 61 customers. These are active customers. No, these are not active customers. These are overall customers who have opted for the services. So agar if you want active customers, then you should not have, then basically then you have to use sets. Active customers कौन है? जिन्होंने इंस्टॉल कराया लेकिन अभी तक डिस्कनेक्ट नहीं किया, तो यू नीड टू फिल्टर फॉर दैट. यहाँ पे सिर्फ इंस्टॉल वाला लिया मैंने, तो डिस्कनेक्ट वाला तो मैंने पहले ही फिल्टर कर दिया. इफ यू आर अ कस्टमर, यू हैव इंस्टॉल्ड द सर्विसेज, देन यू हैव डिस्कनेक्टेड इट, बट मैंने सिर्फ इंस्टॉल के लिए फिल्टर किया, तो आपका रिकॉर्ड तो आएगा ना उसमें फिर भी. So this is telling me these are the customers who have opted for the services in more than one location. That's it. ठीक है यार, क्या इशू है? Okay. Yeah. My mouse is not working. No, that's it. Guys, see again, one more repetition I'm giving. I need customers who are using, who has opted for the services in more than one location. ठीक है? Okay. So everyone understands still. So if who are using our services, right? So there are two types of services. One is install, and the second one is disconnect. That means using means who has opted for. That means installation has to be there. So I have filtered the data only for those customers who have opted for the services. Okay. Then I am saying I want the total count. Like one customer can opt for services in multiple addresses. So this is giving me the count, summarized data. Now there are customers who have opted opted for the services at only one address, and some have opted for multiple addresses. I want those customers who have opted for multiple addresses. So greater than 1 will filter the customers who have opted for services in more than one location.
For example,
Equals to 1. Now see, if you're thinking to write this query in the exact manner from the scratch, that won't happen. You have to eventually start from the very basic query and eventually modify it. I think it's the cell issue. Cell. Okay, no issue. Guys, clear with this? So you have to sometimes check the table also to understand कि क्या data है क्या नहीं. Is everyone clear with question 2 online, guys? Online guys, clear or not? Okay. Now, question 3. Which are the customers? See, पहले हम check करेंगे what are the tables we are having, what data those tables contain. Always do that before attempting any question. I want to understand which are the customers who have not given their house details. This should be very easy. Which two tables? Customer and house. Which type of join? Left join. And then filter. So select star from TBL customer as A, left join TBL house as B on A dot, customer ID is equals to B dot, right? So you can see we have null. I just want to filter that. I can simply say where B dot house ID, HSC or any column is null. I want to show only customer details. So I can say A dot star and this will give me the output. Now you can show it in a better manner. Basically concatenate first name and last name. Okay. So you can individually write the column names and concat first name and last name in the report. Okay. Question 4. Get the install dates corresponding to all customers in different locations. I need the install dates. Corresponding to all customers in different locations. Okay. Now, if you want to have the house details, you have to merge it with the house table. Okay. So that you can do. I'm just explaining you the concept over there. If you need customer details, you can merge these three tables: customer table, house table, and work order table. So select start from, let's say, TBL work order.
इस क्वेश्चन में ऐसा इन्फॉर्मेशन तो मांगी नहीं, तो सर मुझे वर्क ऑर्डर से नहीं कंप्लीट किया जा सकता, काउंट ले लेंगे और फिर डिस्टेंस करके।
Now tell me. What I need to do? Install dates I need corresponding to all customers in different locations. So let's say I am taking A dot. I mean, you can make this report better with the customer details and the addresses, and along with that, you can get the that house details. So ठीक है, वो I'll do. But tell me work order table के साथ यहाँ पे क्या करूँ? Install dates I need for what? Install dates चाहिए ना? So where A dot type of work order should be install. This will do the work. When I say install date,
so start the
slightly install date. Okay, let me do. Okay, so then left join or inner join I can do with the other tables. Left or inner? Which one? Not inner? Which one? Left or inner? Why not inner?
इनर रहना सारी नल वैल्यूज है,
तो लेफ्ट में नल वैल्यूज कहाँ पे आएंगे यहाँ पे? Left or inner will be same over here because I've taken the work order table first. It contains all the house addresses and right. So I can go with inner or left, anyone over here. Inner join TBL customer as B on A dot customer ID work order equals to B dot. Which one? Customer ID? Cus. Now inner join TBL house as C on A dot. I'm merging it with the work order table only, the house table. So A dot house ID work order equals to C dot house ID just C. Done. So now in the star, you can basically summarize your report in the whatever manner you want to do. Okay? So this will give you the relevant report. You can just concatenate the customer ID and the customer details and house IDs and get the relevant information. And along with that, you just need to get install date. Okay, which one? Complete date, work order. Okay. It is saying install date, so that means कि don't you think कि ये जो process है वो complete हो जाना चाहिए? If the install date is mentioned, then that process should be completed. Yes or no? Right? What should be the status? Close. So we have two types of status. One is close. Open we have somewhere, right? Yeah. See somewhere. Then we have multiple open. See. So what do I need? Type of work order equals to install and status of work order should be close. So 489 rows. Let's see how many I have now. 467. So this is the correct output. When you say installed date, that means that one particular date, the installation should be complete. If it is in an open state, then that is not the installed date. It is showing that it was attempted, they went, but process is incomplete. So that will be changed. Clear with question 4? Guys, clear or not? You can basically give the select statement, whatever columns you want, along with the install date, completed date. Get the location details along with the count of services installed in the location. Which two tables? House table and now I will merge house table and work order table. Select star from TBL house as A. Which type of join? Inner or right? Inner join TBL work order as B on A dot house ID. Equals to B dot. Okay, this is which table?
सर इसमें अभी आपको install वाला clause है.
Which table is it? House table and work order table. So what were the keys on the basis of which we'll perform the join between these two tables? Composite primary and composite foreign key. One customer can have multiple house addresses. So the record has to be mapped correctly. We have seen that. We have seen this thing, no? Complaint order table and work order table has to be merged with the house table on the basis of composite primary key. I have told you the reason why I'm not taking only house ID HSC. So I will say and A dot customer ID equals to B dot customer ID work order. This is the required data. What I want, location details with count of services installed in the location. One second, it is, if this is saying installed in the location, it is saying install date, not completely installed. यहाँ पे सिर्फ डेट चाहिए ना, ठीक है, तो you can just work with install 489, मतलब whatever that is. So you can obviously take the distinct if there are duplicates, distinct of the combination you are talking about. क्योंकि यहाँ पे summarize तो हमने किया नहीं है. यहाँ पे it is saying installed, वहाँ पे installed था, यहाँ पे installed लिखा है. That means process should be completed. तो यहाँ पे you can go with the and I can should say where is B dot type of work order equals to install and B dot status of work order should be close. ये तो filter हो गया. So we have 489, 467. Now I need what location details. So what I can do location details के लिए I have this. This will give me the location details along with count of services. So which B dot what? Order ID work order. as count underscore services. Like what? How many services I have opted for, right? Group by done. It is. I've taken B. That is correct. B dot. Acha, this will be A dot. Okay. So each house has opted for only one service. Clear? So I have the location details and the count of services installed in that particular location. Order ID, work order. So that will be unique, yes. But that, so therefore I don't need to take distinct. Those see, जब भी हम order ID generate, each order ID will, each service will have a different order ID, right? Now installed in the location. Like how many, what are the installations, like in which locations, how many installation services are opted for? एक ही सर्विस के लिए ऑप्ट किया है ना, we have only one service which is installed. So we have two type of services, install and disconnect. Now we are just understanding key, like let's say one address can have multiple owners. Yes, install and disconnect. Now one address can have multiple owners, right? So if there are two owners, there can be two services, same two services with different order IDs in the same location. Yeah, but there is no such record. That is what it is asking for. Okay, installed, matlab completed. So status is installed. Now type of work order is installed service, and status is close. Clear with question 5? Online guys, clear with question 5? Online guys, clear or not? Question 5. Okay. Question 6. Get the customer name and contact details of customers along with other info extracted in question 4 above. So whatever you have done in question 4, you just need to get what? Customer name and contact details. That is, you need to just merge it with the customer table. What is question 4? Yeah. Get the customer details. Basically, merge it with the customer table. I have done it already. You just need to concat and get the customer details. Nothing different. Question 7. Location details where install orders are in open state. Location details it is asking for, right? So I can have this same. Can I modify this? Location details where the house orders are in. Location details where the what? Install orders are in open state. So this should be what? Open. And I don't need the count. That's it. So 22, let me check if there are any distinct rows. So I will check that. No. Done. So this is for question 7. Okay. So I just need only those addresses where install orders are in open state. Not always. So wherever you think there is a possibility of having duplicate, you should always see if I have duplicate addresses over here, will it not make any, will it? So you should always check whether if you apply distinct, is it make any difference or not? Ideally, I thought ideally this combination is coming to be unique, right? and table house what order. So what is happening when I'm filtering this is giving me the unique, this is only containing the unique house addresses, right? So you can always apply distinct whenever you need to display such details like categories, number of categories. You can apply distinct, number of houses, number of customers. In such scenarios, you should always go with distinct whenever you are taking the count. Okay. Question 8. Are there any customers who have made a complaint more than once? Customer table and complaint table. So select star from TBL customer as a which type of join? Inner or right? TBL complaint order as B on A dot cust ID cust equals to B dot cust ID complaint order. ठीक है. Now, how would I know which are the customers who have made a complaint more than once? I need to have customer ID in the output. What else? Count of what? Count of order ID, complaint order. Complaint order ID, right? So B dot as count underscore complaints. ठीक है? Now what? Group by, summarize. So group by A dot cust ID cust. This will give me the count of customers who have made a complaint. Now what? More than once? Where condition? Very good. Having, if I need to filter on the aggregated data, I will use having greater than 1. So since I have done group by, it will already give me the distinct customer IDs. So I don't need to use distinct, right? Yeah. So these are the customers who have made a complaint more than once. Okay, probably I can connect with them and find out the reason for that. Okay. So what I will do is, I will stop here for today. It's a homework. You guys have to complete till question 12 and I will take it up in the class tomorrow. Okay. Now tell me any doubt till this point, anyone from the online?
हाँ सर रिकॉर्डिंग स्टॉप करो फिर पूछता हूँ.
Anyone else having any query from the online? Guys, anyone else having any query from the online? No? Okay. So I'll stop for today.